Hello and welcome to my starting guide for Halls of Torment. This guide is for people who are just about to start playing or have only just started and are looking for some solid advice. For those that are completely new to the game, Halls of Torment is a game where you slaughter massive hordes of enemies and slowly get stronger and stronger and face off stronger and stronger enemies and bosses. At the start of the game, you will only have one hero unlocked, with the next, the Archer, unlocked after your first run. You start out with the Swordsman, a hero with a strong melee attack and almost infinite pierce. After your first run, you unlock the Archer, a ranged hero with limited pierce but multiple projectiles. The Swordsman has a frontal cone attack that pierces up to 100 enemies. This frontal cone can be increased by size and range. The Archer shoots 2 arrows per attack that each pierce up to 4 targets. Because of limited piercing, piercing is a valuable stat for the Archer. Each time you level up, you get to pick one upgrade out of a list of 4 choices. These choices can be upgrades for all of your abilities or for specific abilities only. The upgrades for specific abilities generally appear stronger since they only count for that specific ability. When playing as the Swordsman, I recommend the following stat priorities. For multiple targets, which is the majority of your run, go for attack speed, then area or size, then range, then damage, then crit chance, then crit damage, then any of the others. For single target, which generally means you will only want to focus on this near the end of the run, attack speed, damage, crit chance, crit damage, and then the others. When playing the Archer, I recommend the following stat priorities. Multiple targets, which again is the majority of the run, attack speed, piercing, damage, crit chance, crit damage, projectiles, and then the others. For single target, so again usually for about the last 5 minutes of the run, attack speed, damage, crit chance, crit damage, projectiles, and then the others. You will also have 4 abilities unlocked that you can find and make use of during your adventures. These are the Astronomer's Orbs, which are orbs that float around you dealing damage to anything they hit, the Lightning Strikes, that strike random enemies around you and have a chance to stun them, the Phantom Needles, that rapidly shoots the closest target near you, and lastly the Arcane Splinters, ranged projectiles that stay and damage enemies for a while. From the first 4 available abilities, Phantom Needles is the strongest, followed by the Lightning Strikes. This is because the other abilities spend a large portion of their active time not dealing any damage. From the first 4 abilities you have unlocked, I would always recommend taking Phantom Needles on both the Swordsman or the Archer. By lack of Phantom Needles, go for the Lightning Strikes. For Phantom Needles, I recommend the following stat priority: attack speed, projectiles, damage, piercing, others. For Lightning Strikes, I recommend the following stat priority: attack speed, projectiles, crit chance, crit damage, others. Do note that Lightning Strike starts out with a much higher crit damage and will therefore benefit more from crit chance than most other abilities. The reason that crit chance and damage are not so high on the priority list is because the other abilities still benefit less from it. So for upgrades specifically for Lightning Strikes, you do want to focus on crit chance and crit damage. After you have selected your hero, you can walk up to the large gates and select which hall or level you'd like to play. At the start you only have one choice, the Haunted Caverns. Fight your way through as much enemies and bosses as you can. Note that it is absolutely fine to die before the level timer is over. In these types of games you are not meant to clear a level in your first several tries. When you're done with your first attempt, you will likely already have unlocked some upgrades. The strongest thing to unlock is, if you have obtained a total of 300 gold or more, the Shrine of Blessings. At the Shrine of Blessings you can purchase permanent bonuses, or blessings as they're called. At the start of the game the choice is limited, but so will be your gold. Do not worry about spending gold on unlocking the wrong choices, as you can always refund your gold and spend them on different ones. Before you have unlocked any other blessings at the shrine, I would recommend taking movement speed, then defense, then pickup range. Once you have unlocked some additional blessings, I would recommend attack speed, damage, movement speed, and then the others. Remember that you can always refund your blessings to purchase better ones. In all of these lists you might have noticed that attack speed is always first. In my opinion, attack speed is the most valuable stat. Although it may not theoretically result in the most damage, it has other benefits. The obvious benefit would be that the more attack speed you have, the more often on-hit effects will trigger. Another example is that if an enemy only has 50 health, there's no point dealing more than 50 damage. Meaning it is better to do a good handful of small attacks than one large attack. Of course this is only relevant for when there are multiple targets. On single target, attack speed also has a benefit. The quicker you attack, the less of a loss it is if you miss one of your attacks. Once you have managed to defeat the Imp Chieftain, which is the second boss in the Haunted Caverns, you'll be able to enter the Amber Grounds Hall, a new hall or level with fairly strong enemies. Before returning to the Haunted Caverns, you should start the Amber Grounds Hall and rescue the Wellkeeper. The Wellkeeper can be found relatively close around you and will ask you to find a key to a cell. Do this and return to him to unlock him. Once unlocked and spoken to outside the halls, you get the chance to return items you find inside the halls back to the camp. To do this, you need to walk up to the well inside a hall, which can be found by following the icon of the bucket on the edge of your screen. Here you can select which item to transfer over. Do note that you lose the item for the rest of your current run. Items brought back to camp can be purchased from the Wellkeeper to be unlocked permanently. You can choose what to equip on your heroes by opening the chest next to the Wellkeeper. Keep in mind that items you equip will be equipped on all your heroes. Some of the later bosses you kill in the halls will present you with a choice for an item. Check what your options are and pick what you feel is best for you. Two of the most overpowered items currently in the game are the Wind Crown item. This item gives 1% attack speed for every enemy killed in the last 5 seconds, stacking up to a total of 50%. This means that once the waves of enemies start to get large enough, you basically have a permanent 50% attack speed bonus. Do note that this bonus will drop off at the end boss and basically be useless. The Scars of Toil item. This item will give you a 0.07% damage increase for each health point missing. This item is really strong since avoiding damage gets more and more easy the more movement speed you have and the more you get used to the game. Once you feel comfortable enough, you can let your health drop a bit and you'll get a good chunk of bonus damage increase. Note that taking defensive options when leveling is now also an appealing choice, since the more health you have means the more health you can drop down to get increased damage. A fun build with the Swordsman is to go fairly hard on the defense and just keep your current health low and your max health high while having this item equipped. Once you've managed to survive the full 30 minutes and have seen the final boss several times, it is time to prepare your character to actually defeat it. Here are some tips and tricks on how to defeat the Lord of Pain. Once you feel like you're fine clearing out the waves of enemies, switch to single target bonuses on level ups. Try to go as low health as you're comfortable with while having the Scars of Toil item equipped. Be as close to the boss as you can to let multiple projectiles hit the boss. Save a power up that you find, or multiple, specifically for the last boss. Keep in mind that the Lord of Pain has 2 phases, so keep your focus up after you defeat the first one. That's it! You have now managed to clear the first hall in the Halls of Torment. If you have additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will reply to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would much appreciate that. Thanks for watching, have fun, and see you in the next video!